INTUNE, connecting professionals.
So this is again the same interface, okay, but is having more uh, detailed view of it. So you being as an uh, okay, you being as an admin, you have a console, okay. From here, this with this console, you set up like your configuration and like your policies, everything, okay. And then it, you creates your policies and you set your configuration, profiles, you set the reporting and all sort of things, and you put that there on the cloud. So what Graph API does exactly, it is the, what I say, it is the main channel broker, okay. So what it does, it is the one who sets the relation of your services to your cloud, okay. So this is a really powerful unified endpoint mechanism, which allows especially developers also, and to your backend services, to access to the wide range of Microsoft services, okay. So this is gives also the real time data. So any check in, check out which is happening in the background, it direct connects to the API. It pulls the data from there. It gives you, you send some data, it forwarded this to next API, and then so on so forth. Okay. And this also, there is like JSON format which runs in the background, and lots of authentication and authorization mechanism like OAuth 2.0, which is like OAuth is 2.0 is a protocol, okay, which helps you with authentication and authorization, and ensures that yes, you have the right access before you sets your connects. And also, if it also defines the scopes of permission. So if you don't have appropriate permissions, you will not be able to access to the specific resources. So granular granular level, it keeps on checking the permissions and all. So anything, any data, any data modeling stuff, anything you're doing, and if you're connecting with this Graph API, this is more robust, and this is the way of connecting to Microsoft services. There is no other uh, broker like who can transcript your data. Okay. Then the main what I say, the main things coming from Microsoft Intune. So Microsoft Intune is especially, here what you do, you configure your devices. So for devices, what you do, you create the profiles. So generally we see that like profiles is what, I'm a user and I have my profile, like if I log in with my username and password, then it creates a profile. Okay. And within that profile, I have my desktop, I have my documents, my files, my pictures, my photos, my emails, and all stuff. Okay. It's there. So that is profile. But here the profile term is a different. Okay. It's called configuration profiles, where you set certain settings. Okay. And you define those settings that your devices must comply with these. And if the settings is not met, then you will not be accessible to the resources. And configuration policies, where you create the policies to keep on checking things, ensuring that yes, the devices are meeting criteria, users are in sync, and all sort of policies is working fine. Okay. Then let's talk from here as a user. Okay. So here I'm a user. Okay. And I got a mobile. Okay. And I have enrolled that mobile. So what it happens, this is the container, you could see that, right? So this is a container which is your corporate, okay, sort of things. And this is where your the badge, sort of, or a label of key, comes. And this is like your personal stuff. Okay. So how does this work? First of all, through the telecom company, okay, when you are trying to connect, there is a you know data leakage layer that is there behind it. Okay. Let's keep on checking. Then there is another defense connector, mobile threat defense connector, which also keeps on assessing your mobile for any threat, management. And then if it finds well, then it sends that data for compliance calculation. And this is where you you have your data protection policies, your device compliance policies. This is especially for MAM. So data is especially for MAM, and this is where you set things and you ensures that yes, your devices are complying. Okay. Also, there is a network access control partner, which is for the on premises devices. So this, if these devices are also trying to connect, there will be a network access control partner that will also keep on checking and read the compliance information from these devices. Okay. And managed apps. So managed apps, like if you have any sort of LOB applications, which are line of business, or any other integration from any cloud applications. So this is where you can simply deploy and you can configure, remove whatever you want. You can do it from here, and you can also create app configuration policies where you set they should not allow you to copy and paste. They should not be automatically uninstalled, or maybe user cannot forcefully do anything. Any update, it should automatically update by your organization and all those stuff. Then this thing comes Active Directory, which is now is Entra ID. So this this is a mechanism. This is where you sets all sort of authorization and authentication mechanism in behind the scene that backs that runs the logic. So when you sets a user, okay, when you sets a user in a group, okay, and that user will be targeted through a group targeting. And if the user is not part of this group, then he will not be having access to all sort of applications or any devices. And also through the conditional access, devices will be checked whether they are compliant or not. So intra id is playing a very vital and crucial role here, okay, for checking and authorization and authentication. Okay. Now what if you have any SaaS based applications, which like software as whereas you have put something on the cloud and you want to do deploy in your Microsoft Intune or anything anywhere. So this will be also checked whether the certificates for that vendor or that application is authorized. Is it valid certificate and all stuff. And Microsoft 365, this is again coming from Microsoft. So this also gives you an integration. Using that, you can have your Outlook, your Office, your Excel, Teams, and all sort of things. You can do it from here. Okay. And if you are like Apple, like you have enrollment option for iOS devices, so you need to give a flexibility to download the application from the App Store itself. So this integration will also work. And if you are like Android users, so definitely you'll go to App Store and you'll download something from there. This option is also there. And Microsoft Store is also there, where you can on your Windows devices you can go store as. So majority of the enterprises, they do not allow you to download anything until it's like very small tiny software which is very common to use, and does not require much authorization or something like that. So you can allow. Otherwise Microsoft stores, I don't see that it's enabled for all users. It's mostly you know not configured. You will get an error message like your organization does not allow you to access Microsoft Store, something like that. Okay. And custom web apps. So most of the company, they feel like, why should I not create a script or something, and I should create some custom applications to deploy on my users devices just for a pilot, or maybe later on they want to consume that as a LOB application, so they can also do that. And LOB is again line of business application, which is like a legacy applications as well, which is quite old, which is quite robust, and those are the pillars for that organization. Like for me, I had worked with a healthcare company where they have so many line of business applications that they wanted to be there on all the devices. So yes, it depends upon how does your enterprise configure things, and how what are their requirements and so far and so forth.